Bye week! The players and the students were ecstatic. ECU hadn't beat a ranked opponent since 2014. When the team returned back to campus, they were greeted by a tunnel of cheerleaders, a sea of fans, and booming tapping sounds by our drumline. They roared, they cheered, and some even cried. I was excited for the win, but I was more excited about getting to spend time with Sid during the bye week, to be able to turn the volume down and just unwind with wine. However, on the drive home, all Sid wanted to do was whine. He talked about how he gave up almost 500 yards to Houston, how he let down his defensive coordinator with a bad game plan, how he didn't prepare his defensive players enough. He questioned his failed decision to go for it on 4th down on his side of the field. He said it was part luck that they won, and unfortunately, he said there will be no days off this week. He said, "How can we go on vacation when our defense is bleeding? I have to patch this up. I'll give the staff, the players, and myself one day to enjoy the win, but it's back to work after that." At that moment, I was upset, but deep down, I understand the man I married. I gathered myself and I took a towel to wipe the sweat off his forehead. Then I held his hand. He glanced at me, but it was long enough for me to see that the fear had returned in his eyes. We drove the rest of the way home in silence. When we pulled into our driveway, we saw something disturbing. Written 10 times across our garage door in big blue and red letters were the words, "Shame." It also had vile depictions of Sid scattered throughout the garage door. I grabbed my phone and began to call the police, but Sid stopped me. He thought calling the authorities would bring unwanted attention, questions he didn't want to answer, wounds he didn't want to reopen. So we stayed up all night and removed the graffiti off the garage door. I wondered who would be bold enough to do that in broad daylight. We tried to check our cameras, but they wore masks. Anyhow, maybe it's a good thing that no one saw them. Either way, a day from now, Sid will be back on the gridiron, ironing out the wrinkles of that defense with lots of steam, and improving the rest of the team with a new game plan. The incident won't slow him down. It will just make him more determined and more relentless.